I know the soundbite will be broken up and cut, and however you guys want to cut it up, but the Golden State conversation is a non-story. All the other conversations is a non-story. My focus right now is on this team and trying to figure out how we can get back to a fourth NBA Finals and compete for a championship. Everything else, if it's not about this team, if you want to ask me about this team, I can answer it good, bad, or ugly. But please, for the rest of the season, don't ask me about nothing else, no other team, unless we're competing against them the next night, or you want to ask me about.
What if the unthinkable isn't just possible, but already in motion? The NBA universe is about to be turned inside out by a single seismic rumor. According to high-level league sources, LeBron James is seriously considering a move that would shatter the league's balance of power forever. Joining Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors, this isn't a wild fan theory. This is a developing, behind-the-scenes conversation that has executives in a state of panic and fans bracing for a reality they never dared imagine. The king, the dynasty he spent a decade trying to conquer, and a super team so absurd it would break the internet. This is the explosive report on the potential deal that would end the NBA as we know it. It started not with a bang, but with a series of cryptic, perfectly timed whispers. In the days following the Lakers' latest playoff disappointment, a curious silence fell over LeBron James' camp. No public statements of commitment. No clear signals about his future. Just ... quiet. But in the background, the rumor mill, fueled by agents and connected league insiders, began to churn at a fever pitch. The first tangible leak came from a trusted ESPN insider during a late-night sports radio hit. When asked point-blank about LeBron's next move, the insider paused, then said carefully, "Look, I'm not saying it's happening, but what I am hearing is that the most shocking destination you could possibly imagine is no longer being laughed out of the room. In fact, it's being ... explored." When pressed, he wouldn't name the team, but the implication was clear. The destination was so shocking, so league-altering, that even mentioning it would cause chaos. Then, the digital breadcrumbs, a close friend of LeBron's was spotted having a long, private dinner with a prominent Golden State Warriors minority owner in a secluded Los Angeles restaurant. Not a business meeting, but a friendly chat. Around the same time, LeBron's business manager was seen entering the offices of a Bay Area-based venture capital firm with deep ties to the Warriors ownership group. Coincidence? Perhaps, but in the NBA, where player movement is a high-stakes chess game played years in advance, there are no coincidences, only signals. The fuse was lit. The question was no longer if LeBron would leave out, but where, and one destination, the most nuclear option imaginable, had just moved from the realm of fantasy into the shadowy world of back-channel discussion. The Warriors, the franchise that represented LeBron's greatest rival and most painful finals defeats, were suddenly, impossibly, in the picture.
Bombshell report out here that the Warriors had interest in trading LeBron. Dre.
We gotta stop, guys. Come on, man.
According to Dre, Rich said, "Nah, this ain't going." How has the partnership with LeBron evolved, man, since 2012? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's, you grow with each other, and, things.
First of all,
we thought we was about to hit you with some.
No, I'm not even paying attention to that first.
He said the first one you had me in the first half.
Yeah, I'm not even paying attention to that. But
so
no,
it's baseless. Like accusation.
At first glance, the idea is basketball heresy. The Golden State Warriors, the standard bearers of homegrown organic team building, joining forces with the man they battled in 4 epic finals series. It seems to violate the very soul of their dynasty. But strip away the emotion, and the cold, hard calculus from the Warriors front office becomes terrifyingly clear. This isn't about sentiment. It's about immortality and market domination. Sources close to the Warriors' ownership indicate a powerful faction is pushing aggressively for the exploration. Their reasoning is brutally logical. Stephen Curry's championship window is still open, but it's not getting any wider. Draymond Green and Klay Thompson are legends, but are no longer the nightly forces they once were. The Warriors need one more transcendent, game-breaking talent to vault them back to the top of the mountain before Curry's prime completely sunset. LeBron James, even at 40, is that talent. The basketball fit is uncanny. Imagine LeBron as the ultimate playmaking forward, setting screens for Curry with the spacing and movement of the Warriors system. It's an offensive cheat code that would be literally unguardable. But the motivation runs deeper than just basketball. It's about legacy and business on a galactic scale. A Curry-LeBron partnership would instantly become the most watched, most discussed, most valuable duo in sports history. The global media rights, the sponsorship deals, the valuation spike for the franchise, it would be a financial tsunami. For Warriors owner Joe Lacob, who sees the team as the ultimate tech-startup-disguised- as -a-sports-franchise. This is the ultimate disruptive innovation. It would break the NBA, and in doing so, cement the Warriors not just as a dynasty, but as a singular, unrepeatable, global phenomenon. The risk of alienating a portion of their purest fans. To this faction, that's the cost of doing historic business. They are not just considering it. They are reportedly preparing a persuasive full-scale pitch centered on legacy, rings, and building a sports empire unlike any ever seen.
I'm on the cover of one of those. I don't remember which year it was, but I've been on the cover of 2K. It's a good game as well.
Would you ever create a game about your life?
Wow. I don't know. It would be something that I think it'd be pretty cool, just like, from the bottom all the way, to the top. And it's something that we all try to strive for on a day-to-day basis it could be anything. It could be like, okay, I want to finish this project. And I started from writing the first note down to getting an A on my project, or playing a video game where you're like, oh, I started at level 1, and in order for me to beat the game, I got to get to level 20, So I think it's something that we can all learn from. And if it came with me talking about my life and us being able to conquer things that go on in our world and our lives, to be able to be as great as we.
So why would LeBron James, the man who built his legend on being the Cavaliers' savior and the Lakers' restorer, even consider this? Why would he willingly walk into the one move that could permanently complicate his legacy? The answer is not simple loyalty or fandom. It is the culmination of a career built on strategic, legacy-defining power moves. This would be the ultimate one. Insiders familiar with LeBron's thinking point 2-3 converging motives. First, and most practically, a clear, unobstructed path to a 5th ring. In Los Angeles, the path is fraught with a mismatched roster, limited assets, and immense pressure. In Golden State, he would walk onto a team with a proven championship-winning system and the greatest shooter of all time, ready to exploit the defensive chaos he creates. It's a shortcut to matching Kobe Bryant and tying Michael Jordan, a mathematical boost to his GOAT argument that the Lakers can no longer reliably offer. Second, it's about business and narrative control on a scale he's never achieved. LeBron is no longer just a player. He is a media empire. The storyline of teaming up with his greatest rival would dominate global sports headlines for a year, supercharging every one of his ventures. But more darkly, it would be the final, masterful act of player empowerment, a demonstration that he holds the ultimate power to reshape the league's landscape on a whim, that franchises, even historic ones like the Lakers, are merely vessels for his ambition. Finally, and perhaps most compellingly, sources suggest it's about conquering the last frontier. He has beaten the Warriors. He has lost to the Warriors. But he has never been the Warriors. To join them, to master their system, and become the final perfect piece of their machine would be to absorb their mystique into his own. It would be the ultimate act of basketball dominance, not just defeating your rival, but becoming them, and in doing so, becoming something greater than either entity was alone. It's a risky, legacy-altering gamble, but for a player obsessed with his place in history, it may be the only move left that truly shocks the world.
The famous line. But
it also allows you guys to play with 2 quote-unquote non-shooters, which in today's league is almost impossible. But because the constant movement, you could play with Loon, you can play with Dre, and Draymond's had games. I think this is one of them where he made a bunch of threes, and he's obviously can do that. But those are classic non-shooters on a scouting report. And you still can be a highly effective and efficient offense.
You couldn't do that if it was just all pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll.
Right.
Because at some point the defense is going to
This rumor is more than just smoke. The shockwaves would instantly obliterate the NBA's competitive ecosystem. The reaction from other teams, players, and the league office wouldn't be disappointment. It would be sheer, unadulterated panic. Imagine the emergency calls flying between owners. The competitive balance the league has struggled to maintain would be a starting 5 featuring Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, or a major acquisition via sign-and trade, LeBron James, Draymond Green, and a rejuvenated Andrew Wiggins or Jonathan Kuminga. It's a fantasy lineup that would start with a 2-0 series lead before the ball was even tipped. Executives of contending teams, like the Celtics, Nuggets, and Suns, would publicly call for league intervention, while privately scrambling to see if they could form any. There would be immediate, loud demands for the commissioner to veto for the good of the game, creating a constitutional crisis over league power. The player reaction would be even more visceral. Rival stars would feel outright betrayal. Kevin Durant, who faced immense criticism for joining the 73-win Warriors, would likely feel a twisted sense of vindication. If LeBron does it, how could anyone ever criticize that move again? Younger stars like Luka Doncic and Jason Tatum would see the league's top prizes being decided in a front office merger, not on the court. The message, true parity, is a myth, and the only way to win is to join an existing superpower. but the true ground zero of the fallout would be Los Angeles. The Lakers franchise would be plunged into an existential crisis more severe than any losing season. LeBron leaving is one thing. LeBron leaving for the Warriors is a targeted, historic humiliation. It would confirm every fear the front office privately holds, that they are a temporary venue, not a destination. The fanbase would fracture into warring camps of bitterness and disbelief. And the pressure on GM Rob Pelinka to somehow salvage the situation would be immense and likely impossible. The league wouldn't just have a new it would have a crisis of credibility, with the Lakers as its most devastated casualty.
A report from Jake Fisher. He works with Mark Stein, part of the Steinline Substack. Great NBA reporter. You all should be subscribing to Mark Stein's Substack. But from this piece, quote, as long as LeBron James's future in Los Angeles remains uncertain, Golden State will undoubtedly be mentioned as a potential James suitor. I'm told the Warriors have called the Lakers on multiple occasions over the last 18 months to see if there's any trade pathway to pairing James with Steph Curry, who roughly a year ago at this time was teaming with LeBron for the United States senior men's national team on its run to a gold medal at the Paris Olympics. After all of the NBA final clashes, James...
The biggest obstacle isn't emotion or legacy, it's the cold, hard reality of the NBA salary cap. LeBron James is owed over $50 million next season. The Golden State Warriors are already a luxury tax behemoth, with a payroll projected to shatter all records. So how could this possibly happen without the league stepping in? The answer lies in a complex high-wire act of financial and transactional engineering that insiders say is nearly impossible. But being mapped out, the most plausible scenario, according to salary cap experts, is a sign-and-trade agreement that would send LeBron to the Warriors, with the Lakers receiving a package built around Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, and a treasure chest of future draft picks. The Warriors would likely need to include more salary, potentially involving Chris Paul's non-guaranteed contract or a reluctant farewell to a beloved veteran like Klay Thompson in a separate move to make the money align. The Lakers, faced with the prospect of losing LeBron for nothing, would be forced to swallow the bitter pill and accept a return of young talent and picks to begin their painful rebuild. But the financial ramifications are apocalyptic for Golden State. Their luxury tax bill would explode into the $400 to $500 million range for a single season, a sum so staggering it tests the very limits of what even their wealthy ownership group would tolerate. Yet, sources indicate this is the crux of the internal debate, is creating perhaps the most iconic team in basketball history, with all its associated global revenue, worth effectively doubling the franchise's annual operating cost for a 2-year window. The other, simpler path is LeBron taking a massive, unprecedented pay cut sunk in the range of $30 to $35 million to sign for the taxpayer mid-level exception. This is considered highly unlikely given his stature and role as the president of the Players Association. But it's the only clean way to make the fit work without gutting the Warriors' core. Every conversation, every back-channel discussion, is centered on solving this brutal math problem. The desire might be there, the will might be there, but the cap sheet is the final, unforgiving gatekeeper. And right now, a team of financial wizards is trying to pick its lock.
I wish we had a simple answer, man.
Oh my goodness, I do not know the answer. I wish I had the answer to this, but I'm not sure, man. Yeah, it's funny, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the A-all, B-all of everything. Like, okay, you weren't a great player if you never won a championship. Yeah. It's like, or if you won one, then you can't be in the same conversation with this person. It's like,
but that's a great point because
this is the question that would define the final chapter of LeBron James's career, and it has no easy answer. If he makes this move, history will judge him in 2 wildly divergent ways. Scenario 1, the ruthless genius. In this version, LeBron is seen as the ultimate strategist, playing the game of legacies at a level no one else dares. He would have leveraged his power to engineer a move to a perfect basketball situation, virtually guaranteeing himself a 5th championship and silencing the 4-6 finals record critique forever. He would have transformed the narrative from chasing Jordan to transcending the sport itself by creating an alliance so powerful it redefines what's possible. Future analysts would call it the most brilliant, cold-blooded win-now maneuver in sports. History a masterclass in controlling one's own destiny. Scenario 2, the ultimate betrayal. The other side of the coin is dark. This version paints LeBron as a mercenary who sacrificed his foundational mytha, loyal son of Ohio, the restorer of fallen giants, and the altar of convenience. Joining the Warriors, the team that inflicted his most painful defeats, could be framed as an admission that he could no longer beat them, so he chose to join them. It would forever taint his 5 rings in the eyes of many, branding the final one as the easy one, the ring he needed Stephen Curry to get. The move could unravel the loyalty of his core fanbase and cement a legacy not as a builder, but as the sport's most brilliant opportunist. There is no middle ground. This decision would create a permanent fork in how LeBron James is remembered. Would it be the crowning achievement of a career built on smart decisions, or the moment he sacrificed sacred sports narratives for guaranteed glory? The debate would rage forever. And for LeBron, a man profoundly aware of his own historical footprint, that terrifying polarization of his legacy may be the single most powerful force holding him back from pulling the trigger. So, where does this leave us? As of now, it remains the league's most explosive what-if high-level discussions have occurred. The motivations for both sides are starkly clear. The financial pathways, though narrow, are being scrutinized. The basketball world is holding its breath. Every cryptic tweet from LeBron, every non-denial from his camp, every calculated leak from the Bay Area is dissected for meaning. The upcoming free agency period isn't just about contracts. It's about the potential for a seismic event that would redefine rivalries, legacy, and the very structure of the NBA. The Warriors are preparing a pitch. The Lakers are preparing for panic. And LeBron James holds the match, standing before two paths, one that leads back to the familiar struggle in Los Angeles, and one that leads to a blinding, controversial supernova in Golden State. The final, haunting question isn't, can it happen? After everything we've laid out, the question is, does LeBron James have the audacity, and is he willing to bear the cost, to make it happen? The answer will shake the basketball universe to its core. What's your verdict? Would LeBron joining the Warriors be the most brilliant power move ever, or a legacy-shattering betrayal? Let us know in the comments below. If you want the deepest, most connected reporting as this story develops, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. This story is just getting started.